Afternoon. Everton have made a signing. Jesper
Another one, you mean?
Lindstrøm.
Another one, you mean?
Another one,
Another
yeah.
signing.
Another signing. Another signing. Confirmed at 11 o'clock. A loan from Napoli with a view to a permanent deal next summer. Yeah, an option.
Not an obligation.
Not an obligation, just an option. Just an option that it's there. The numbers are already there, so I think it was 22.5 million for the player. Watched this video. Yeah, they love asking in the videos how excited they are to play. What does it mean to you if you play for this football club?
I'd love a player. It's just a job.
They do. Oh,
it's just a job.
Yeah. I can't. Oh, yeah.
You know, red shirt last week, blue shirt this week.
What's he
as long as I get paid.
What's he going to say? What's he going to say? I don't quite get that.
He's not a lifelong Evertonian, is he?
No, he's not. He's a lifelong.
Yeah,
obviously, Napoli. Played for Napoli, John. It didn't go too well. Only 2 starts. We spoke about that earlier this week. But he did do well at Frankfurt.
He did.
You know,
that's the version we want, isn't it?
It is, and you know, I was speaking to Baz about this week, and I actually think the Bundesliga as a league has probably got a lot more in common than the Premier with the Premier League than the Liga. La Liga than Serie A. So I'm a little bit more optimistic that time and that version of the player is going to be the version of the player we get.
Something went wrong at Napoli though, didn't it? You know, champions plunge to mid-table. You know, have a bit of a clear out, and he's one of the spare parts. So hopefully we picked up a player there who will go back to glory form, sort of thing.
Yeah,
quite young, and will be worth the money if he can do it in the Premier League.
Yeah, he's 24, isn't he? And you know, he's
not long 24 though.
No, he's got out of Napoli quite quickly, which is good as well. He's not
fail quickly.
Yeah, he's not hung around, and of course they changed the manager last summer as well.
Yeah.
It was a poor season all round for Napoli. They didn't do well in the Champions League. They didn't do well at all in the league, Serie A, and you know he was obviously a victim of that. He was obviously brought in with a view to doing things, and it just never happened for him. So hopefully he can take his traits and you know show them to us, and I think from what we've seen of the player, he does look like someone we need, the kind of player. Listen, who knows how he'll settle, who knows how he'll get on, but he definitely looks like he's got the abilities of the kind of player that we don't have at the moment.
Where's he from? Oh, he's Danish. Right, they don't struggle to settle here usually, do they? And the other lot wanted him, didn't they, last summer? Yeah. He
was very highly rated and sought after last summer.
Because was it 30-ish, probably with add-ons, wasn't it? That Napoli picked him up for. So presumably they're just hoping to try and get their money back.
Yeah, he went for 30 million euros. Yeah. Everton are apparently going to get him for it's going to be 3 million euros cost this summer.
Yeah.
And then it would be 22 next summer. So
25.
So around 25 euros,
so
million euros next year.
Get their money back, don't they?
Well, basically, yeah, because of
paid him for a year.
The amortisation and stuff.
They paid him for a year, but it'll be good for the PSL.
Yeah, it will be, yeah.
Well, they're the equivalent of actually, squad ratios now in Europe, isn't it? So, but it's the same thing. Yeah, it'll help them. Yeah.
But it's definitely the kind of player that we have not had for a while. You know, I compared him earlier in the week to Kevin Morales. I think, and a lot of people a lot of people come back to me on that with a lot of negativity, but.
Well, because of Kevin.
I think Kevin Morales was a good player. He
was a good player.
He was in and out, of course. He didn't have, you know, like a lot of wingers are, he wasn't fully consistent every season, like during the season. But when he was in form, Kevin Morales was a really good player. Lots of pace, very direct, broke through one-on-one and genuinely, you know, give the goalie the eyes and had a little trick in him. You know, I remember going to when we went to Wolfsburg, and him and Lukaku that night were brilliant and done the damage for us, and that was the kind of player he was. And it didn't end well for him at Everton, and maybe he got a little bit too big for his boots, but I can see a little bit of him in this player. I can see that little bit of pace and that little bit of trickery and the ability to just get away from a player quite quickly. Is that what you see, John?
I've never seen him.
You're not seeing even any of the videos?
I've watched the videos, but the show reels.
I know, but what do you think about what you saw in the videos?
Of course you like it.
Yeah.
Anyone who can go past players, you're going to like, aren't you? And you go back to Morales, he he was a player who we acquired. Let's hope this guy's not exactly like Kev, right? When the player, if he'd gone somewhere else, would have probably more highly thought of.
Yeah.
Big, clubs that play with more open style and stuff like that. So we have to remember that our style, in particular under Dyche, doesn't exactly set yourself up to be an exciting, dribbler who goes through a whole defence and then misses from 3 yards. But yeah, he brings something we haven't got, and the other types of players that we're looking at, particularly say Nonto, I guess, if he comes along, are the same. And I hope that's actually a shift in Sean thinking, well, I've got me foundation laid down. I know my defence is okay. We've got the discipline. They're all going to be that extra fit, the ones who came along late and missed pre-season and stuff like that. Because he must know that is 50 plus points as a target. So, and we'll all be really, really pleased if he does that in a steady way, because that means come Christmas we'll all be smiling and grinning rather than going, oh God, what happens?
No, you're right, because what you said there, because the players we've signed so far suggest that there will be a slight, it'll be an organic change in the style of play, because we'll have to.
Revolution, but it will evolve into, a more attractive team to watch. Put it that way.
Well, more exciting in the final third, at least, because the manager, I think the manager said this week, either it was him or Ian Woan said that Everton can't hope that the defence is perfect for the entire season. Yeah. It has to score goals, and we all know we were appalling in front of goal last year. The chances
chances not taken is the issue, and the manager was right, often saying, what do goal scorers say when they're not scoring goals? At least I'm getting the chances, and I'll start taking them. If we were not making chances, we'd be more worried. But we made lots of stuff, particularly early on in the season, and put ourselves under pressure by not taking them. And then of course he spun the yarn that XG was catching up later, and then we went 3 months without whatever it was, without winning a game, and then it come back again. So we need consistency, and part of the lack of perhaps the manager's inability to get the players consistent is his lack of trust in the depth of his squad. Yeah. So we had lots of players who, and me and Baz talked about it yesterday. Lots of players who, were never going to get swapped out, were they? No. DCL being one, I guess. Now he's got a bit of options. He can show us that his cautiousness in making substitutions and stuff is his lack of confidence in the replacements. And when his bench is stronger, he'll rotate. It'll keep everyone fresh. It keeps them all on the toes. And guess what? Perhaps there's a marginal gain in there somewhere.
No, absolutely. No, I mean, if Everton could get Nonto in as well, and then suddenly you've got the attacking options of Nonto, Lindstrøm, and Dye, Harrison, McNeil. That's not a bad set. Plus you add like the core into that if he's playing in that role. And at the moment, as we sit here, it's Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Beto, and Chimiti. Okay, I still feel like
we need to get one.
I still feel like we need another centre forward, especially with all the rumours about Dom and certainly all the rumours about Beto. But that's not a bad. That's good numbers. That's good numbers. And when the difference with last season is, when you have players that were coming on, you weren't sure about, and Harrison being on one side and McNeil on the other side, they're very, very similar. There's not much alteration. I know McNeil will come inside a lot more, and Harrison can cross with both feet, but you just felt like there just wasn't enough difference, at least with the ones we've got so far. It just feels like there's a little bit of difference, a little bit of
there's an offset.
Yeah, if you took one off and brought a different one on, it'd be a different approach. It wouldn't be just trying to hammer in this the same nail. It would be something slightly different. So at least they're trying to vary things in that department.
No, I think that's important. And one thing, notwithstanding leaking team news and stuff like that, that the opposition coaches knew with us is, he doesn't like changing his starting 11 unless there's injuries or suspensions. Yeah. So we're quite predictable. He wasn't making many changes strategically from the bench. Again, he might do a like for like, or an injury might force a change. But it made us very predictable. And because this game of ours is all about marginal gains, the difference between Everton or the relegated team and Man City might be lots and lots of money, but it's not a huge percentage in ability, but it's actually the percentage that makes the difference. Yeah. So if we do get a little bit of variety, a little bit of an offset, something that's ever so slightly different, a little bit more pace here or a little bit more guile there, then it just gives everyone a bit of a lift. And if we score goals, it takes the pressure off the defence as well, because God knows what goes on in their heads. You know, the way they were diving in and doing all the good work they were doing last season. But buried in there must have been, if we concede a goal, this is all uphill.
Yeah, and that is a mental thing, isn't it? And I think as fans...
And therefore, Branthwaite's become battle-hardened, you know, because of it, with Tark next to him. But you can't ask those guys to go to the well over and over and over again.
And I think as fans, we felt like that as well.
Oh, totally.
You go 1-0 behind in a game and the mentality would be...
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're thinking, are we really going to get back in this? And that's not a good place to be. And to be fair, when Dyche came in, that wasn't necessarily the thing either, because, you know, you think back at like the Chelsea game when we drew and stuff like that. We did find that edge. We did have a little bit of steel about us that could get us back into games. So it's not like it's not there, as in like a mentality. I think the mentality at the club is definitely that we can go 1-0 down. I don't think it's all heads go down.
Oh, no, they don't go down.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just, it is of how do we crack these open. Now we're 1-0 down. You know, if they're stopping our set pieces, then, or we're having a bad day with our set pieces, then maybe we're not going to have it today. With
we need more open play.
Exactly, and that's good. Lindstrøm said of Sean Dyche, he said, I've spoken to the manager, it sounds as though he likes the way I play, and I can be good, fit for the team with my speed. So now I want to deliver. I know he trusts me, and that's another reason I'm here, because I need that trust from the coach, and I need trust from my teammates. I'm ready to show them I can help. So of course, maybe that's a little soundbite of what he didn't have last season.
Yeah, that is interesting, because I've not read that, because I was driving in when it come out, and lots of repeating of the word trust there, which is interesting, because that's in a way what we've just been talking about. The manager needs to trust the players, and this player is saying he trusts me. So in a brief chat, he must have said to him, "Hey mate, you're going to start."
Well, what's interesting about that is, though, because that obviously Kevin Felwell is doing these deals on again, we spoke about this week, me and Baz, about this is the first time that a manager, I think we spoke about on the Tuesday topic on Toffee TV Premier, was this is probably the first time under a director of football at Everton that the manager and the director of football are completely aligned in their thinking, and there's nobody else to tell them. There's nobody else now. Nobody's getting involved. There's no agents getting involved. You know, you go back 4 or 5 years when there was distractions everywhere at this football club. The owner, the chairman, the CEO, you know, in line with maybe the under-21s manager.
Everyone had their penny.
Agents in people's ears, trying to flog them. This sounds now like, and of course, you will still get the Dan Juma situations where you get a player who's handed over to the manager, and then it's up to the player to impress the manager. And if he doesn't do that, then that's on the player. But I don't see that as a bad thing. I like that idea of, well, just because we bought a player doesn't mean they necessarily start every game. It is still on the player to impress the manager, isn't it? The director of football can look for all of those traits for why you buy a player, and everything is still fit in. These are going to be amazing. These look exactly what we need. The player doesn't turn up and do his job, then it's on the player, isn't it? It's not on the manager to pick them.
You're right, it is. But there is a crease in that. And you said that at the beginning, where there's an alignment between the manager and the director of football. So that must mean there's a style of play that's been agreed. One assumes, just based on some of the acquisitions, it's going to be a bit more expansive than it has been, which is fair enough, because Sean has said, my job here was to keep us in the division. That's what I've done. And you put the 8 points back on, and it's a solid mid-table performance, and therefore you should be looking upwards, right? But every player who comes in is his player. And human nature being what it is, you are partly at least culpable whether that player fits or not, whether he gets game time or not, whether he performs or not. And so it will be interesting to see when he's faced with decisions between a player he brought in and a player that was already here, you know, how much leeway does one get compared to the other? And that's all the psychology of managing a group like that, where probably 15, 16, 17, 18 players should think they should be starting every game, and there's only 11 who are going to get to start every game. So, but yeah, it's starting to mature into a decent window, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, I was just going to say then, well, what you just said, it still comes down to the player, doesn't it?
Always.
Because the player...
Classic, wants to cross the white line.
I think for Sean Dyche does make it quite simple for people. work hard and do what I ask of you, and everything else will be fine. If you go against that, then we've got problems.
Of course, his job is to get the best outcomes for the team, and one hopes that is to get the best individual performance out of each and every player within the shape or the the formation or whatever you want to call it that he chooses, because he chooses that surely based on the players he's got and how he can best get outcomes, i.e. points. And if you make the players better, the formation either gets better and therefore you get more points with the same style, or you can modify your style which brings more points, because otherwise why are you doing it? But then when an Onana goes and does his cryptic, I've gone to a team which will be better suited to the way I want to play, i.e. it's going to come through me, not go over my head. So that's part of it as well. If Sean wants to play direct, old-fashioned, whatever you want to call it, Route 1 type stuff, and not play through the lines through midfield or whatever, then there's no point in having really good, technically competent midfield players, right? He wants hard workers. He wants workhorses who'll run up and down the line, protect his back four, blah, 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 blah. And I think this could be the start of us moving from more of that to something a bit more interesting.
Yeah, hopefully.
And if we start putting the ball in the bag, then it'd be fab, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, just on the players' numbers, played 22 times last season, but he only had 2 starts, 416 minutes in Serie A. 4 Champions League appearances, but only 60 minutes. The season before, Bundesliga, played 27 times, 7 goals, 4 assists, played 1,694 minutes.
How many?
1,694.
Okay, 1,600, okay. That's about half the minutes available, isn't it? Played
7 times in the Champions League, scoring 1 goal that season. The season before, 29 games, 5 goals, 5 assists. So, 9 Europa League appearances, 4 assists, 590 minutes in that as well. So, obviously, the season before, so he done it. So in terms of that, he's done really well when he played in that season before he moved. So, it's hopefully finding that form again and having a player that offers something that gives us just that little bit of difference. In terms of where he played, attacking midfield, 118 appearances, 34 goals, 26 assists. Left winger, 20 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists. Right midfield, or right winger, 12 appearances, 1 goal. He's played in centre midfield, he's played second striker, he's played 8 times as centre forward as well, scoring 3 goals and 1 assist. So he's played he even played 3 times in defensive midfield.
His outcomes are not as a wide player, are they?
No, but what I could see him again. Me and Baz talked about this earlier in the week, is you could imagine him playing sort of where in a position where Dwight McNeil played last season, where you start wide, but actually you drift inside to not allow, to give you the opportunity to not be allowed to be picked up by anyone. Because Dwight McNeil, in those latter games of the season, when you see where his average position was, there wasn't much width.
No, heat map stuff,
I mean, that massively, again, we have to reiterate this, that massively relies on how much you allow your fullbacks to get forward.
Well, that's what it makes overlapping fullbacks mandatory, doesn't it? Really. And ones with good engines who can recover as well.
Yeah.
And then perhaps DM or DMs who can fill in.
Yeah.
I mean, McNeil's probably a wing-back, isn't he, these days, if we played that way?
Yeah. No, but what it does do, it gives you options. It gives you so many more options. But I think what we've seen in the last few years, not just last season, and certainly not just under Sean Dyche, is we see players who were supposed to be attacking players,
but we're
not attacking.
Yeah.
So what you get is a situation where you have, say, 2 holding midfielders, which is really 1 too many in the modern game, but that's what he plays. And then you have, say, last season with us with Decore, and then he starts getting dragged in. And then you see McNeil doubling up and sitting right next to the full-back. And then you have the same on the other side. And before you know it, and how many times we've said this, not just last season, not the season before, but for the last, God knows, you have a centre-forward who's completely isolated, has got no one around him. And your whole team, yes, it can defend, and yes, it but it's not scoring goals and it's not creating chances. And what Evan have got to do is, if we are playing 2 holding midfielders, then that should be it then. Everyone else in the team should be allowed to play on the front foot, and that's how you score goals. And that's what the top teams do. Number one, they don't give the ball away, so they're being attacked less. Or if they do give the ball away, they're winning it back quickly because the players are in the right positions and they're not all sitting back and they're not letting teams come onto them. So there is going to have to, and it's not. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be a change of style overnight. The manager has got to get the trust of these players. He's got to see something. He's got to see something in Ndai. He's got to see something in Lindstrøm. If Nonto does come in, and we'll have to wait and see on that. Believe that Leeds are holding out for a much bigger down payment than what Everton are prepared to pay at the moment. Then, if that would be a good collection of players. So, and then we can. I think you look at that because you know what I seen Brentford playing last week in a pre-season game. And when you look at their front players and you go, and they had the new kid, and I know the new lad's just got an injury, so I don't know how long he's going to be. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to be long. But when you look at their front three and you look at the players they've got who score goals, and you had Ivan Toney onto that. He's in the same position as Dom, at the moment. But you look at them and look how many attacking options they've got in the final third. We just haven't had that for ages, and it's something we've needed for ages, and hopefully they look like they're starting to correct that.
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting we keep coming back to the DM thing because it's taken up a slot as well, isn't it? So, do you think he'll start with who's his two DMs then?
Garner and Garnett.
You think so?
Yeah. I think that's what he likes.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's liked. I think he's liked it when we went to. I think that's why he didn't like Onana. I just think that
he found it more.
I think Onana
for him to have Garner working hard. Yeah.
I just think it's far more risk averse, isn't it?
No, that's the starting point.
And Dyche's job, you said it before, Dyche's job was to keep Everton in the Premier League under incredible circumstances.
It's the same again, isn't it?
It is the same again. Yeah, so. It is the same again till we become that team that you look at and you trust and you get rid of all the problems that are surround Everton Football Club. And I remember we went to Brighton. I think Onana was on the bench that day and he started them two together and the two of them barely touched the ball, but all he did was screen, stop the passing lanes. And we took the lead and it was like we were comfortable till they got the last minute. Funny enough, they got a last minute winner, equaliser, with 10 men on the pitch from a bleeding set piece. The most un-Brighton thing you could think of. And that it was stupid. But up to then we were really we done a really good job on them. And I think that's what Dyche likes, and I think he will be prepared to be more attacking, but he's got to have those two holders.
Well, I think But
what I would say is, I think it gets more out of Atisagana Gay playing in a two because you're seeing him as he was at the end of the season. He can go and do what he does
and come back. Yeah, I think if he gets the players he wants, we may find it. It's not this, but you have to do a longer bloody tactical discussion, but. He'll move towards a home team and an away team.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
The tightness, away, and that's where people like Jesper will come along. If he has got a little bit of face, or Nonto, where you literally are going to sit off, say, "Go on, come after us," and we'll counter you. We get a chance, we'll score. Imagine that, hey, us just sitting off teams away from home and just, sorting them out just with quick counter attacks.
Well, again, that comes back to what I've just been saying about that, like the Brighton game. It does we know we were for the first half of the season we were better away than we were at home. That swapped round in the second. Well, very late on it swapped round. I don't think we won an away. What was our last away win? Was it Burnley? Was it Burnley?
Can't remember.
It was Burnley. If I remember rightly, it was Burnley away was our last away win.
We just need more consistency.
So we did have a good start to the season away from home. We could counter attack. We won some really important games, just being
tight.
West Ham, Brentford, just being tight. I think obviously you want to have more control. That's the most important word, isn't it? Control. Now, control doesn't mean you have the ball. It doesn't mean you pass the ball 900 times.
No, it's them passing the ball 900 times, going
nowhere. That's control. I think a lot of people forget that when they watch teams and think, oh, these are under the cosh, they're getting battered. Look at the possession. Manchester United, look at the FA Cup final. That was one of the best demonstrations of allowing the other team to punch themselves out I know it doesn't happen very often to Manchester City,
But it did.
but it did that day because the plan was perfect and they executed it perfect and they got the rewards for it. So
Well, I sit next to my missus 30-odd games a season, right? Because she skips the odd away game. And she's one of those who, if they've got the ball and they're in our half, then she's nervous.
panic, yeah.
But I've watched so many games with her where she's petrified and I'm thinking, we've got this.
Yeah.
You know, if it's 0-0, you always think if they do get one, then you're back to that. Well, we haven't. Can we react to that? But particularly if we take the lead last season,
yeah,
you just look at the back four and go, they've got this.
Mm.
And you're right about Gannet. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, pickpocket, isn't he? So,
Yeah.
Mr. Interception, call him what you will. James, I think, just has to step up a little bit.
No, I agree, but this is the season that I think he's got an opportunity
He might
to step
think,
up.
if I do my bit now, I'm a starter every game, aren't I?
I thought his best game in an Everton shirt was Brentford at home. I mean, that week he was massively instrumental in how we played that week when we won the 3 games. But I thought against Brentford he was just a little bit extra. I know that day was, for them and for us, was a little bit after the Lord Mayor's parade and stuff, and it was about getting through and just getting the points. But I thought he really stepped up that day, and I think I think he'll know he's going to have a fight for his place because Decore comes into the mix. I think.
Well, there's a good chance he's going to go backwards in the team, isn't there?
But there's going to be options, and you've got to fight for your position, haven't you? But I think he'll be more comfortable as an Everton player this season because last season when he came in, it was still probably wasn't 100% sure if he was a starter, and he started the season playing on the right.
Maybe he's got more strength, so the heavy shirt's not as heavy now.
Yeah.
But you're right, it could be a good season for him if he builds on what he did last season, because he's still relatively young.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, he is,
and some of what we're doing here is dragging down the average age as well.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's good.
Which is good, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, get the next one in now.
Yeah. We need to walk away from Leeds. We can't drag.
No, just try and,
I think you spoke about it last week, whatever it was, put the line in the sand saying we're not past that date, and we'll move on to someone else.
Absolutely.
And Baz was on the same message.
Yeah, you've got to, haven't
yesterday,
you?
the day before, whenever it was. Yeah.
You've got to.
Because it just can't let it drag. But DCL will, won't it?
Yeah, that'll drag.
That'll go deep.
That'll drag. Of course, there's a pre-season game tomorrow, isn't it, against Salford. Lindstrøm said just on being ready, he says 100% ready. I'm so hungry. This pre-season feels long because I
Sounds
just
like the manager's told him he's playing.
Yeah, I just want to play football. I just want to be out there in the stadium. Last year was a tough year for me, but I'm so happy to be here now, and I can't wait to get started.
For a season, hasn't he?
Yeah, so it'll be interesting whether he's involved tomorrow or Tuesday night.
Both.
Probably have some part tomorrow. Maybe he could start on Tuesday, and then obviously I think Preston, isn't it, the following Saturday? So he could participate 3 times in a week, and he played for Napoli last week and scored in a friendly on Saturday.
Right,
so he
has.
Right, It's not like he hasn't been part of pre-season. He has been part of pre-season. So
good.
Hopefully he gets going straight away.
Yeah.
And Evertonians want someone. They want to see a sign and go, because the signings have been all right so far, but they're not exciting, are they? As in, like, you're not running out and buying a shirt with anyone's name on, are you? Quite yet, you're like, yeah, that's a good signing, but I don't think anyone's going, oh my God, that's the difference maker. So if
this guy, you can talk up. The sound bites are good, aren't they? He's young, international. Last season played for the Serie A champions.
Yeah.
Has played in the Champions League, played in the Europa League. Didn't work out for him. Was great in Germany. That sounds like smart buying. That sounds like ticking the box for the recruitment team, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
And then, okay, there'll be a blue out there right now saying, yeah, but who else wanted him? Sort of thing. But whatever. He's one of ours now.
Yeah. Let's have a look at some of your comments.
And you're right, it is on him now to make sure it gets made permanent.
Yeah. Going into that new stadium.
Yeah. Cool.
Steve P says, not going to lie, I had to do a double take when the interviewer asked him what his strengths are. And the first thing he said was pace. I can't remember the last time a new signing said that.
Ever?
I was waiting for the response of, we don't do that here.
Yeah, it's funny.
Adam says, actually looks like for the first time in a while we have a plan for who we're signing and also getting them in during pre-season, not deadline day. Yeah, that goes back to the director of football, doesn't it? Actually looking like he's doing something. Jay says, Nonto next, please. Gareth says, I will watch this later. I'm off the cinema to watch Deadpool and Wolverine.
Tell him what happens quick.
Well, this fella turns up with blades in his hands. It's a bit of a mess. That's why I was off yesterday, because I went to see it, so no one could ruin it for me. No one could ruin it for me.
Isn't it called Deadpool Wrexham?
No, there's no references to Wrexham in it that I can tell you.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been brilliant if they'd unveiled like a new signing while the film? I mean, that would have been a long time planned.
Well, the mask.
Yeah.
It's not Reynolds. It's
Tazu says,
centre off.
Yeah. I've got a bad feeling Dyche will coach all his pace and skills out of him. I don't think you can coach pace out of someone.
No.
Don't think that's possible.
You can make players look bad by what you ask them to do, but it's still there.
Blue Keeley says, I really disliked Morales towards the end. Can't remember how it's spelt. Well, it's not spelt like that, mate. Think he had a bad attitude, but our team needs a player like him now for sure. Well, I suppose people started disliking him, and it's like the Onana thing. And funny enough, they're both Belgium. Was a penalty, wasn't it? It was the penalty against West Brom, and he took it off Leighton Baines, insisted that he take it, and then
after an argument,
and then he missed, and it was
just a job to him as well.
It was just like, what have you done?
You've got to buy into this club.
Yeah,
he was a player who was just a job.
And he drew 0-0. Well, again, Morales, I remember Morales having a great spell and then basically saying, I want to leave at the end of the season. I want to go to a Champions League team. And it was like, mate, read the room. You're having a really good moment for the club. Fans really like you.
Yeah. And now you say
and you don't have to say, but he's Belgian.
Say it on the pitch, yeah.
He's Belgian, so what can you do? Brian Garside, possibly one for John. Could he be an Andy King style of player?
No.
Andy King didn't have pace, did he?
Not really.
I don't think anyone had pace in the 70s, did they?
No.
I don't remember
on those
pitches. I was going to say, you couldn't have pace in the 70s.
On those pitches and leather football boots that got heavier and heavier as the game went on.
You just had to have, like, quickness of feet, like Dave Thomas.
Having speed in your head was where it was, yeah.
Adam J says, happy with Lindstrøm and hope we get Nonso, but I do worry about how much we can develop wingers under Dyche. I think we need to start the season well, because I can just imagine us being in a rough patch. Why did we always revert back to negativity? And Dyche reverting to flogging Harrison and McNeil because they'll do the defensive work he trusts. At least there's more competition and depth, though. Paul Power, not that Paul Power.
Hey, Paul Power.
Says, afternoon, lads.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in Clatterbridge with my missus while she's having her chemo. Loving the content, lads. Always a welcome distraction. Paul, we wish you and your wife well from everyone here at Toffee TV. And hopefully I've sat in those rooms and I know...
Ditto.
I know what it's like, mate. And it's know what? Having chemo is like a full-time job. It is like a full-time job. You have to be there like every day or every other day. It takes up all of your day. It takes all the energy out. I'm obviously speaking on behalf of my sister here, and it is like a full-time job for you and the person. And honestly, mate, so we wish you all the best, and that, I'm sure everybody will repeat that in the comments. So so the best of luck to you. Tazul says, heard some rumours that Tarky has a broken foot. Have you guys heard anything regarding this? Bad news if it's true. I've heard rumours.
That was a couple of days ago. The rumours.
Yeah, I've heard rumours, but that's all I've heard. Yeah. Rumours. I would imagine.
We don't know.
The manager will, if he doesn't play tomorrow, I'm sure the manager will address it. Because there's no point sort of keeping that to yourself at this time of year. Yeah. The captain says, Morales type of player. I think you mentioned that the other day, Ped. He looks a handful. There you go. I tell you what I did notice today. I'm not outing you, mate. I'm just interested in this.
Oh, he's showing right down the camera to somebody.
We've got a new subscriber on Toffee TV Premier.
Have we?
And it's Leicester Fan TV.
Wow, that's good, isn't it?
So I'm really interested in that.
Because they know they've seen the Cody inside the game.
I'm
I think
interested
it's wonderful.
in that. Just interested in
Is he on now?
No, I wouldn't. He hasn't commented. Maybe they're just like something they want to do, and they're interested in what we do.
Let's get him on then. Reach out.
Well, we'll have him. This.
Yeah.
We had him when he was in the Premier League.
That's right.
Good
So,
lad.
welcome them back.
Also, right. There'll be a lot of people watching right now who don't subscribe to Toffee TV.
No
we are
way.
19 away from 87,000, and this is the road to 100,000. So if you're not subscribed, just subscribe. It takes
Costs
a second.
nothing.
You probably watch every day or watch videos
Costs you
all the
nothing.
time. It costs you nothing to just press that button. There's thousands of people who watch this channel who don't subscribe.
Sorry, well, be honest. Tens of thousands. On
Yeah,
the stats you
there
showed
are
us
the
earlier in the week.
stats say there are in a month there's like 30,000 upwards who watch this channel who don't subscribe. If half of those people subscribe,
We'd be happy.
I'd be happy.
You would. You want a certificate, don't
I'd
you?
get a tattoo and everything. I'd get a YouTube plaque not there, but I'd get a YouTube plaque.
Is that a
tattoo.
commitment?
That's a promise. That's a Sean promise.
Wow.
Me and Ned,
Ned's going to get
Ned would get one at the same time. The only difference is, John,
subscribe just so
John,
they do it.
Ned's wouldn't be spelled right.
Earlier on,
There you go.
I was
Not
sure.
if Harry does it. He spelt my mates wrong the other week.
What
And
did
it was
he
his
spell
first
right?
tattoo.
What did he spell wrong?
He got a tattoo that says "This is the one,"
Yeah.
and Harry put, instead of putting the dot on the I,
Yeah.
put the dot on the S.
Oh, to be fair, when I had that done, they did forget to put the fella forgot to put the I in Optimum. So when I got me tattoo on my leg, I asked the girl if
To
she
fix it.
could just add it in. And then when Harry redrew it, obviously he's redrawn it, and it looks better now because he's redrawn it.
He's gonna fix.
At least
it.
there was room.
Yeah, there was just I know. Yeah, so because I remember going, that's not how you spell that. And I was
When
like,
you get your tat, you'll have to leave room for another zero, won't you?
yeah.
Because you'll start whinging. You want to get to 1 million then, won't you? Once you've got to 100,000.
No, I won't.
Oh, you're happy.
No, I'll be happy with 100,000. That's like the goal. That's like to me the
That's
level.
the big leap.
That's the level.
That's the big
A
one.
million, I don't think we'd ever get some, and I just don't think we'd ever get some. The Red Men aren't at 1 million.
That's true.
A lot of them aren't. And there's very, very few football channels that are at 1 million.
You've got to be a one-man band with a big gob, haven't you?
You've got to.
Sorry, Mark.
You've got to be prepared to say really, really stupid things and mean them,
Or
back them up.
Give the impression you mean them, at least, yeah.
Yeri says, get the tattoo on live. Yeri, we've done live tattoos on this channel. Oh my, that's another first for us. Ned got his tattoo, and I had my tattoo redone by Harry on the...
But you're going to get it done live, though, aren't you?
I'll get it done live.
Yeah.
I will get it live.
Put the word out, people.
If we get to 100,000
Just put the word
by
out.
the end of this year, I will...
No, whenever we do it.
No, John. End of this year. 100,000 by the end of this year, then I will get ink, and Ned will get ink to commemorate it. Baz won't, because he's a wuss. Right? He is. Or maybe get 2 needles, one to knock him out and one to get a tattoo on him. What do you reckon about that, Ned?
What would you get on him though, so he doesn't get too mad, like a cross or something?
Little cross would
Some
satisfy, wouldn't it?
seeds.
Jesus is my homeboy.
Seeds is my religion.
Seeds is my religion.
Seeds are my Jesus.
He does love nuts and seeds, Baz. Like,
Yeah.
that's
And cold showers.
cold shower. Anything to reverse the aging problem. James says I've subscribed twice, once on my TV and separate on my phone. I don't think it quite works like that.
doesn't.
You need 2 different accounts.
Just get yourself 100,000
See, I'm
email addresses.
not telling all our subscribers to go and set up a new account and subscribe to us on that. But I'm also not telling you not to do that. So
Everyone's got more than one email.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got 4, I think. But oops, only 1 subscribes. Sorry.
Right, we're 14 away from 87,000, and I expect to get.
That means you got 5 in the last 2 minutes.
So I expect to get 14 more, because I know there's definitely 14 people here that have aren't subscribed. Yeri, we have done. Ned, when did we get the tattoos? Was
Last October.
Was it October?
My first tattoos was last
It was
October.
the international break, wasn't it?
Last October.
Your
Ned-
first tattoo ever was here, wasn't it?
Ned
The
will
first 2,
right.
Yeah, first
Ned
2.
will find that video and we'll put it in the community tab, and you will see Ned and myself get tattoos live on our show.
I think you two should do a video, say, or cut this or whatever. You have to do a speech now, and then that'll be a clip. When we get to 100,000 this year, Peter McPartland, hereby commit to.
I'll do it right now. I'll do it, and Ned will put it out as a short.
Go.
Going on posts.
Okay.
Go.
Right. We are currently standing on nearly 87,000 subscribers. There are around 40,000 people a month who watch our channel who do not subscribe. If half of those subscribed, if less than half of those subscribed, we could get 100,000, no problem. So, if we were to get 100,000 subscribers in 2024, I, Peter McPartland of Sound Mind, will get a tattoo to commemorate it. So will Mathew Lamwood 1T, aka Ned, also get a tattoo to commemorate it. And we will get that tattoo, those tattoos, live on a show for the world to watch. We have got tattoos live on the show before, and we will do it again. So if you would like to see me and Mathew Lamb in pain, or just you think it's pain and you just want to see us get more pain, whatever, then please subscribe, tell other people to subscribe, or create a second, third, fourth, fifth account and subscribe to Toffee TV. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you. There you go.
Wow.
There you go. John, are you getting one?
No.
Yeah, he said.
No.
Why wouldn't you get a tattoo?
I don't want to.
Why don't?
I haven't got any and I don't want any.
Why?
No reason.
Okay. I'm not going to push it on it. It's a personal preference.
All three of me lads have them.
I think if you got one, you'd want another one. That's the way it goes.
That is the way it goes.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Detective Riggs says Pedal Ned has got to get YouTube 100k as a tramp stamp on their lower back. You know what? We'd come up with a cool design. I think we'd come up with a cool design that signified. I don't think we go that far. You could get that, and you could pull that off, John.
There's too much red on it, man.
Yeah, we'll change it to blue.
It's my lad.
We'd get a cool
tattoo
design.
over his back.
I reckon we get a cool design, right, Ned? Harry would come up with a cool design to signify Toffee TV getting 100,000 subscribers, and we'd both get the same design.
But it has to be like Toffee TV.
No, it'd have to be a cool design. No, it wouldn't just be like
channel and YouTube.
Yeah, like it'd have to be like some kind of boss like synergy.
100,000, but the O's are our logo. Or
okay,
something.
so this 100k thing.
Yeah.
Do you think it's if or when?
No, it's when.
So get the design done.
It's when.
Get the design.
Well, that's
done.
on Harry.
Then
that's
you
on
can
Harry.
kick this again by showing people the
That's
design
on Harry,
of the
isn't it?
tattoo. Who's Harry? Your tattooist.
We're 2 away from 87,000. See, this is the power.
Yeah.
This is the power. Because this is what happens. People go. This is why
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. Click.
Stephen Bartlett does this at the beginning of every video. He goes, so many people watch me and they don't subscribe. So you've got it. Now and again, people go, oh, yeah. I watch that every day and I never just.
So is it done?
No, we're not on. No, we need 2 more.
Come on, hurry up.
2
One
more.
of you could be number
2 more.
87,000th.
Yeah. Also, what I will say to you as well is, if you're on Toffee TV Premier, which I'm not going subscribe to this and then subscribe to, but if you're on Toffee TV Premier, we're about to give away some cool prizes. In fact, one of our original members is about to win a signed Seamus Coleman framed shirt. One of our original members. And there aren't many of them. So we're going to sort that out, but we're going to do monthly. We've been promising this for a while.
But we're going to do it now.
But we're going to start.
We've got a stockpile of stuff now.
We've got loads of new T-shirts. We've got loads. Have you seen our 19?
Are we going out the number 1?
Have you seen our 1970 new T-shirt?
No.
Winning. Ned, get the 1970 winning T-shirt up, please.
Oh.
That we've designed and is going to be out on the shop
Ooh.
today, maybe. So we'll sort that out.
We're going to out the number 1, aren't we?
Right, we're 1 away from 87,000.
Next one, you're going to be it.
Yeah, there's an OG Toffee TV Premier that's been with us from the start,
and that's the number 1.
And that'll be the number 1, and that'll be the person who's getting the signed shirt. I mean,
could be you.
He's going to have to come and pick it up, but.
What 1970s winning T-shirt?
I sent you it yesterday, Ned. I'm sure I sent you it yesterday.
I didn't get anything.
Hang on.
Come on, guys, get a grip.
Ned. Come on, Ned.
All the Last Dance stuff's out now, though, isn't it?
You sent me a picture of Steve Kelly smashing it.
No, I've just sent you it now in the WhatsApp.
Let's see.
Oh, I've not seen that yet.
Oh, we'll put it on screen, but
Ned's going to put it on screen.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
you have seen it?
I've just said the Last Dance stuff. You're just describing it as the 1970s. Put it on the screen anyway, because it's really nice.
Mark says, missed the first half of the show. Have you done a compare and contrast of Jesper Lindstrøm and Jesper Lindstrøm. We haven't done that, no.
No.
We haven't done that, no.
We'll get Baz to do one.
Blue Keely says getting the new T-shirt today. I think I'm gonna go for the 1995 one. I think it is. My first kit was the first Danker one the season
Put
after.
the 95 one up as well, Ned.
So have you got it?
Yeah.
Stick it on just to show everybody. So this should be available in the shop today.
Which one's this? The 71. Oh,
Ned's gonna sort that out.
yeah.
Blue Keely says Leicester TV
Proper shirts.
coming here to learn from the best. But there you go. They're good. They're good people. I've done stuff with the Leicester people before. They're good people.
I can't listen to Leicester like that without remembering the.
There we go. That's the new 1970 shirt. So, it's dead simple. And then what's cool about this is, so we've obviously, that's the home, that's the away, and that's the goalkeeper shirt. But what we realised,
Very traditional.
What we realised was that that's obviously 1960, 1970. That's when we won the league.
Yeah.
They never had any short sleeve shirts.
No.
They never had any short sleeve shirts.
Very original in the sense that they're all long
if you look, they're all, when there's a hot day, they're rolling the sleeves up.
Yeah.
So that was part of the design that we went with. Ned just throw the other ones on while we're having a chat as well.
Yeah, look at them all. Yeah.
So this is I think this is the best collection of Everton kits ever.
It's one of my faves.
So I've gone with it. But we're going to do others. We're going to do... that's the 95 one, the semi-final kit, the away kit, and obviously the final kit.
You start getting sponsors' names on them.
87. Oh. Ned could have gone a bit closer.
There you go.
And the 85 kit. There you go. Go and get
sponsor. Happy here on it. First sponsor.
Yeah.
We had a sponsor before it.
Did we?
But it wasn't on the shirt. Or when it was the league. Was it Cannon? The Cannon Division 1? Or was it?
They sponsored the Premier
League. Yeah.
Sorry, not
the
Premier
Division
League,
1.
League.
Whatever Ned's just said
is rubbish.
Just completely ignore all of it. What he's done again is he's thought of something and then he said it.
No, he hasn't. He said something, then listened to it whilst the rest of us did.
Just repeat what you've just said.
I couldn't remember if it was us or the Division 1. Which Division 1 wasn't it?
I couldn't remember it, then why have you just said that out loud like it was real?
Because John corrected me, so now I know.
Why say it though? You're live to people.
You know, that was a first.
Yeah, but now I know.
You know, that was a first, the Cannon
Cannon Division
trophy. Yeah. But it was also unique because we're the only club.
No, Liverpool got it in 86.
I don't think so. I think it's changed.
Well, we're the first to win it though. Cannon.
I think it changed.
Cannon Division 1.
They're both doing it. They're both
by the way, we can look it up. By the way, in case you're interested, people, there was a Ned masterclass last night.
I was just going to come on to this, John.
Around the tower.
I don't. People who don't subscribe to Toffee TV Premier, right?
It was a masterclass.
We have a show on a Thursday called Round the Tower, and I guarantee anyone who watches.
I have a show. On Thursday
just be quiet. Anyone who watches it will tell you that it's our best show, and it's
mad,
and it's just unbelievably good. And Ned comes on every week. He's like the star of it.
My show.
It is literally Ned's show. Now we let him host and everything.
He hosted last night. Yeah.
So I haven't watched this yet, John. Could you just don't ruin it, but just describe what he was asked to do?
He ended up doing on the instruction of PT Cass, a training regime. So he did a fair amount of in a confined space exercises. Yeah, that's enough to make you.
Which won't sound very good on a podcast, but will sound.
When you see,
if you watch it,
Ned doing what he does.
Yeah. So this is the show that Ned is basically outed himself at what he would do if there was no ethics in the world. He is. Yeah, I can't go into it. There's a lot of stuff.
We need a load.
We need a compilation.
That's what I was about to say. We need a compilation video of. And as an advert for it, basically.
Now, I don't know whether this term was created last night, but Emma says Nedersize was unbelievable. Is that what we're calling it? Nedersize? Was that?
No, she's invented that. That's a great word.
That's tremendous.
Copyright that, Ned,
Emma.
Quick.
Ned,
you're a star.
Ned, that's your new DVD, Nedersize, with Mathew Lamb. Right, we've gone to 87,000. We did have 87,015. Then it went down to... No, it was 17, then it went down to 15. Now it's 87.16. So that we've put on...
changed the minds.
So we've put on over 30 odd subscribers. Just by asking. And that's just one show. So that proves how many people...
Yeah.
I've got second emails.
Or have actually done what you asked. Yeah. They don't subscribe and now they do.
Yeah. Emma, that's tremendous. That's brilliant. Well done to you.
Yeah.
There we go, right. We're going to go over to M-Tag. Ned, what are we talking about on M-Tag?
Calafiori to Arsenal, De Ligt to Man United,
Okay.
and Sancho being linked with loads of different clubs.
Okay.
And other things.
Yeah.
Magic link.
The magic link will be there. Hopefully none of our viewers are trying to get to Paris today.
The train's a bit iffy, is it today?
They're not iffy. They got someone burnt the lines.
No
out.
way.
No, there was a
Wow.
big domestic terrorism basically.
Was it?
They burnt the
Which side?
on the French side. They burnt
Really?
the overhead lines out last
Really?
night, and then there's apparently it's really bad.
So nothing's happening.
Yeah.
On a day when presumably quite a lot of people might have been going to Paris for the opening
But it was
ceremony.
all like coordinated. So
Ooh, naughty.
Yeah. What time is it? Round the Tower is on a Thursday at like 4:30,
4:45
5 o'clock.
last night, yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
it depends how quickly we finish the other stuff in time. But it's
Supposed to be about 4:45.
it's supposed, it should be really 4:30, so it's finished by 6, so we can
Yeah.
all get out of here. But honestly, it's funny. It's a funny show.
Don't want to spoil it for you.
Go on.
Because you will watch it.
Yeah, I will watch it.
But Ned was the host.
Yeah.
And Ned's performance as a host is interesting.
Oh, he did it last week and he was fantastic.
Certain radio DJs would be impressed with the similarities.
He was so gracious in his
That and he's got a fanboy crush on Baz, clearly.
Yeah.
Right. You'll see it, people, if you watch
because Baz was talking about bad manners, and I didn't want him to think I've got bad manners.
it. I asked Baz if he bust a blood vessel, and it took him about 30 seconds to get it, didn't it? So
Mill says Ped's got the Avengers cast tattoo vibes in his head. Oh, is that the tattoo they? Oh, yeah, also all the original Avengers got this tattoo, all of them, and it's basically a bit of their own logos each.
Oh, right.
So I think that's what he's thinking. I thought you thought like I was going to get the entire Avengers on me. There's too many of them.
But you need to get hold of your tattoos and get the
Harry, this is on you, mate. You've got to merge our logo with YouTube 100,000 thing. You've got to do it, mate. This is on you now. To come up with that idea. I'm going to leave it with you. Right. Come over to MTAG.
More than a game. It is, isn't it?
It's more than a game.
It is more than a game.
More than a game daily. That's really MTAG Daily. That should be the name of it now.
And it's easier to find on podcast.
And also, it's got its own did you put the podcast out yesterday?
Yeah, the podcast channel's there.
So also MTAG, if you don't get a chance to watch it now, there's going to be a podcast like 40 minutes, walking your dog, going for a walk, going for a run, whatever it is. Because I know when I go for my runs, I do like listening to podcasts because take your mind off the pain of running.
No pain, no gain.
That's it. Exactly right. Right. See us on the other side if you're coming over to MTAG. If not, bye for now.